Well, this is the engine compartment of a 1965 Pontiac GTO, a real GTO, not a clone. This guy is the real deal 65 GTO with paperwork. It does not have the original engine that this car was born with. It does, however, have a 71-400 Pontiac engine. It has the original equipment, quadrajet carburetor on it, cast iron intake manifold, just the way it came from Pontiac. It has the Pontiac high flow exhaust manifolds on it. The engine's a fresh motor. Everything's just freshly done on it. A new alternator, new belts, power steering, power brakes. The heat is still intact and functional for the passenger compartment. Water bottle still intact, just the way it should be. Big heavy-duty Pontiac GTO radiator. They're a 4-pass, real heavy-duty radiator that came with these guys. This car has been unhit, undisrupted through the years. The radiator core support is original and really, really, really nice. Inner fender panels are semi-flat black, just the way they should be. Has a 14-inch unsilenced air cleaner. Chrome valve pan covers. It has a more modern HEI distributor in it with silicone high-temp plug wires in it. Just a real nice engine compartment. Really nice, no leaks whatsoever on the valve pans or the intake manifold. Either valve pan or the intake. There's no leaks whatsoever evident on the top of this engine, or the front of it actually either. So clutch fan, 7-blade aluminum. The correct shroud for the radiator for Pontiac GTO. Really great engine compartment. These motors made substantial horsepower. It's going to be in the middle 3 somewhere for the horsepower of this guy. More than enough to push this lake body anywhere you want to go with it. Great engine compartment. Nice look, nice clean atmosphere under here. Let's go around the rest of it, see what we can show you there. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we got a neat little toy for you here today. Everybody's favorite, 65 Pontiac GTO. These guys had a lot of charisma, a really neat car, good looking car. But let's go over it and see what we can show you. It's a neat color. It's like a bluish green. I can't really, bluish gray. I'm sorry, not green, bluish gray. In some light it looks gray, in other light it looks blue. I guess we have on the tag that it is blue, but and that's what Pontiac calls it, so I guess that's what it is. An 1/8-inch gap you can see from the hood to the fender, just the way it should be on both sides. Clean up to the cowl area the same way. Paint on the hood is very, very nice on the car. I don't see any marks or any dents or deviations or anything on the metal itself, or deficiencies in the paint either at this point. I don't see any marks or chips whatsoever. Absolutely none. Chrome around the headlights, absolutely brand new. There's no deterioration whatsoever. Those had to have been replaced. These things usually deteriorate with age. These have no deterioration whatsoever. Same as the trim around your grill areas. They appear to be original yet, but the trim around them is absolutely flawless. There's no dingies or marks or stone chips through the years. Just really, really nice. Argent along the bottom, just the way it should be, or actually the whole way around. Bumper fitment is about as nice as you're going to get. It fits just about spot on. Pontiac arrow in the front here. Nice and clean. GTO designation in the grille. Chrome on the bumper itself is really, really nice. If you notice, this car does sit a little bit lower than a regular Pontiac GTO does. The springs and the suspension has been lowered just a little tiny bit. Not to where it's objectionable, but it has been lowered just a little bit to give it a little bit more of a sleek stance. Looks good this way. 65 GTO designation in the front. Parking lights just as clean and clear as they should be for 65. Great front end of the car. I don't see any stone chips at all on it. Absolutely none. Not even in the filler panels. There's no stone chips at all. Nice nose on this guy. There's absolutely nothing that I can tell you detrimental on it. Let's get down to the driver's side, see what we can find for you there. Okay, driver's side of our 65 GTO. Let's see here. Wheel lip trim. Nice as can possibly be. Again, the hood to the cowl, to the fender, to the windshield pillar, to the door. Look, that is really sweet. Pontiac GTO designation. Rocker panel molding just as straight and nice and clean and fresh as you'd ever hope to find. Trim around the front window. No markings or dings whatsoever. The dashboard transitions onto the base of the windshield, nice and clean. No deterioration or rust or corrosion in that little corner where things a lot of times get stuck. The dashboard itself appears to be nice. There's no cracks or marks on it whatsoever. If I remember, these should be polished. The style is correct, but if I remember on a 65 GTO, these are supposed to be polished stainless instead of argent colored. At any rate, they're the same style and type of wiper blade and arm that would have been released with this car new. So, tinted windshield in the front with the sunshade fade on top, tinted glass. Where these are usually deteriorated, this one is not. The chrome on this wing area is just as clean and nice as you could possibly hope for it to be. The roof, absolutely flawless. There's no marks or dings or dents or anything, any distortion from something falling on it through the years. Tinted glass on the side of this from what I can see also. Pretty neat car. Nice fitment here, window to the back light. Wife's whiskers appear to be original and nice. Correct Pontiac style mirror. Door handles are absolutely brand new. They have been replaced. Look at this. Boy, we've been lucking out on these cars lately. The fit has been just right on everything that we've been doing lately. Wipes on the rear quarter glass the same way. Drip rail molding. No dings, no marks whatsoever. Sail panel just really, really, really nice. Trim around the back light. Same as it was on the front. New hat shelf in the back. I can see someone has installed a new hat shelf, rack, whatever you want to call it, tray. Anyway, it's new in the back. It's very, very nice. Trim around the rear wheel lip. No dings or marks whatsoever. And tin. No Bondo, no filler, nothing packed up in there. No reason for it to have it. Splitters, option on a 65 Pontiac GTO. Great addition to this car. Gives it a lot of look, a lot of charisma with the twin pipes coming out each side. GTO designation in the back. Side of this car is, that's about as straight and nice a vehicle as you'll ever find. And this car is original tin too. It hasn't, to my knowledge, had quarters replaced or anything on this vehicle. Decks or doors, anything. To my knowledge, this car is all original tin. Rally 1 wheels. They are not a correct Pontiac wheel. They're a wider wheel. They appear to be about an 8-inch Rally 1 style wheel with a little wider trim rings on them. They have a set of Redline 15-inch radial tires on them with a nice to match red accents right down the side. It really gives it a good look. A little tiny bit lower than a conventional suspension. Gives it a little bit of a sleeker look to it. Rally 1s really add to the charisma of this thing. Rally 1's a good wheel. So is a Rally 2, but Rally 1's a little more panache than the Rally 2 had. Nice driver's side. Let's see if we can show you that back. Okay, the rear of our 65 GTO, blue. Again, look at the deck on this thing. Fitment is like really, really spot on. Nice and tight fit, just the way it should be. It could not fit any better than it does. And the paint on this thing is just really exemplary. Look at this. It's absolutely fantastic. Power antenna, GTO designation. If you ever look at 64 5 GTOs, especially 5s, this trim around the back and I guess you cannot buy this. You have to have this redone. Usually these are all pitted up and all deteriorated from age. This one is not, although there is a little bit of a misalignment on this side. This tail piece here, this end piece, has to come up just about 1/8 of an inch to make that like this side fits perfectly. Again, the trim on that, the Pontiac designation, that thing is as new and nice as you could possibly hope to find on one. Chrome on the bumper and bumper fitment. Really spot on the back of this car. Chrome is very, very nice, just like it was on the front. Backup lights, nice and clear lenses. No marks, pulls whatsoever on the bumper, and again, the alignment of the bumper is just as nice and sweet as could possibly be. You've got to lift this guy up just a hair to line this up a little bit better. Other than that, this thing is spot on. One more side, let's see what we find there. Okay, last side, passenger side, GTO 65. Again, GTO designation just the way it should be. I love these splitters the way they come out. They really give the car a nice dramatic effect, the exhaust system on it. Again, tin, no Bondo filler anywhere on this thing. Quarter panel, really, really nice on this car. Very nice. Wheel lip molding, same as the other two. That's 3 for 3 now. Trim around the back window. A little tiny bit of a ding here. You got to really look to see it. There is a little mark where something went right there on it. Again, tinted glass in the back, just the way it was on the front and the side over there. Drip rail molding. What the heck? Oh, that little piece of trim is loose. This needs to be tightened up and needs to be fit over there. You can see it's not fitting as it should. This needs to be addressed here, which we'll do. But no marks on the drip rail at all. And again, same thing. Original white whiskers, just as nice as can be. And again, check your window fitment. See, mirror, right hand, fantastic addition. Another new door handle. Look, I love it. It's really nice. Rocker panel molding, same as the other side, just laser straight, no heel marks or anything from people banging their heels onto it through the years. GTO designation, crest in the front. Front of the door to the front fender, just as it was on all the other ones, just as sweet as can be. Look at this. Can you believe that? It's how nice that could possibly fit. Okay, last wheel lip. Seat fender to the hood, just as sweet as you'd ever want to find. Great chrome on his front bumper too. Fantastic chrome. Really nice. Uh-oh. Loose bumper bolt. Got to tighten that. Back where we started. We got his 1965 Pontiac GTO. One of the most iconic cars that came out in the muscle car era. Technically starting in about 64 muscle cars. And Pontiac came out with the GTO then. 65 was the most popular of all the GTOs. Some people argue that 67 was, but 65 will bring more money than any of the other ones. This is a real great example of that. It is not the correct engine in the car, but we're not going to ask $60,000 or $70,000 for this car either. It's a great car, has a great look to it, has a nice stance. Everything's been renovated. You got a set of Rally 1s, 15-inch instead of 14, and 8-inch wide instead of 6-inch wide. Got a nice set of radial red lines on it with a nice red accent to match down the side. It's a bluish color with a little bit of a green, I keep saying green, grayish tint to it. Fantastic color, black interior, tinted glass all around. This is a nice car. It's going to be nominally priced. It's not going to be out of sight price-wise because it is not a numbers matching car. If you can, please get on a bird or in your car and come down, take a look at it. We can give you a tour of the facility. We've got about 80 cars on display. This is simply one of them that we just presented to you now. But would like to see you in person. If you can't come in person, that's why we're doing these videos. We're trying to give you as comprehensive description of this car as we possibly can, and hope we do that. We have an undercarriage yet to do, and an interior and a drive, so you're going to have everything that you need, just like you would be here looking at this car yourself. That's what we're trying to do here at Hangsters for you. Okay, we're inside our 65 Pontiac GTO, a bluish gray color, not green, gray. Again, dashboard, really nice. No cracks or deterioration whatsoever to it. The wood around the instrument cluster is still really, really nice. Does have a tachometer added to it. It has the idiot lights, but it does have a quadrant of gauges. Well, actually 3 of them, not a quadrant, there's 3 of them. That does have fuel gauge up here, but it has a oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, and a voltmeter also auxiliary underneath the dash. Has a real wooden Grant wheel with the Pontiac designation on it in the center. The dash is really nice, clean. The lenses are nice on the gauges. It has the original AM Pontiac radio still installed in the dash. Of course, your key over on the left-hand side, a Pontiac marked for 64 and 65. GTO designation on the doors. Nice chrome knobs, brand new, and door actuators, front and rear. Window cranks that are new. Ashtray armrests in the back. Ashtrays, people smoked. No seat belts in the rear. There are definitely seat belts in the front of this guy, though. We do have seat belts up front. The seats have been reupholstered. The front and back seat are new upholstery, and just the way it should be from Pontiac, the angled vinyl on it with the Pontiac designation in the center. The sill moldings are really nice and clean and fresh looking, still the original ones. Console, the chrome on the console has a little tiny bit of patina on it in places, just, you know, from usage through the years. There's a little bit, not horrible, but it's there. It does have an automatic transmission shifter in the center here, 3-speed automatic. It has a loop-style carpeting that is correct for this car, and it has a grab rail for Pontiac GTO, and also GTO designation on it, just the way it should be. The headliner is very, very nice in the car. It appears to be the original headliner, actually. The interior of the car is really nice. It's been all redone. I don't see anything on it that would be objectionable. The sun visors are nice. None of the stitching's coming loose on them. Day-night mirror has a little tiny bit of fade on top of it where it starts to bleed onto the mirror-type surface. But other than that, it's a day-night mirror also. It has the trim around your brake pedal and parking brake. It's just a really nice Pontiac GTO that's very nominally priced here at Hangsters in Daytona Beach. You got to take a look at it. If you're in the market for a real GTO, not a clone, this is a real GTO. So take a look at this one. Great color combination and a great condition for the car here at Hangsters. Let's see. We have where's the wipers? We have wipers that work. We have a horn that works. We have power antenna here. We have the original radio. I don't think there's any chance of it working, but we'll try. Nope. But there is a radio in the glove compartment, the CD player, with a power antenna, so we know it has a sound system. It does have a trio of gauges underneath the dash, auxiliary gauges showing you oil pressure, voltage, and temperature, which will be coming up here shortly. We just started it. Nice sounding car. It's got a tachometer that works. Motor's idling a little bit fast yet. See this traffic. Let's see, speedometer's working as it should. Go down the road just like it should. Tachometer's working. Let's see if it goes down the road straight. gotta wait till we get up on the road here. There we go. Now let's see what happens when I put brakes on. Stop straight as an arrow. The guy behind me is a little upset, but temperature's coming up just like it should. Drive straight. Goes down the road straight as an arrow. No hands. Still no hands. What? Okay, we're underneath our 1965 bluish gray Pontiac GTO, a real GTO, not a clone. Let's see what we got here. We got a nice fresh engine. You can see it's been out of here and refreshing. Somebody decided to jack it up by the oil pan and caved it in. See if we can knock that out for you. 2 1/8 inch, I'm going to call them primary pipes coming off of the standard cast iron exhaust manifolds. The frame in this, which is a full perimeter frame, it's a full box in the front, and then down the sides of it, it turns into a C channel, and then full box in the back again, and then C channel in the rear. The frame itself is really nice. There's no jack marks on it or anything. It has a newer starter just installed on it. You can see there's no leaks on the engine. Turbo 400 tranny in it. You can see everything's been out and freshened up. The steering box, all the steering gear appears to have been freshened up. It looks like the original steering box in it yet, but I'm going to say it has a new idler arm on it here, new bushings in the sway bar assembly. Everything looks nice and tight on the front end, a new set of shocks on it, new ball joints. Finned heavy-duty Pontiac brakes in the front. They are a fin design of a drum brake in the front, not a disc. The floors themselves are the original floor pans that came in this car in 1965. They have not been done, nor do they need to be done. There are no deteriorated marks on them, no rust, no scale, absolutely nothing. The original brake lines, original fuel lines, still intact, going back the driver's side of the frame. Parking brakes still attached and functional. New U-joint in the front, looks like a new U-joint in the back. Again, 2 1/8 inch pipes that are going to transition into 2 Flowmaster mufflers. The substructures on the floor pans themselves, you can see, are very, very nice. No one's made any attempt to put jack stands or jack them up through the years. Little tiny bit of a wrinkle on the one floor pan right here. Somebody either just ran over something or possibly went to put a jack stand on it, or it maybe slipped. A couple of jack stand marks, one there, one there, one there. Just normal usage through the years. Certainly nothing that compromises any of the integrity of the structure of this vehicle. Nice floor pans in it. They are absolutely rust-free. It's a nice solid body everywhere. The rocker panels are original. They've never been replaced. Again, the frame, the substructures on the floor pans, everything is just as nice as it was in 65. Nice looking car. You can see there's no leaks whatsoever. Bell housing area, transmission, speedometer drive, or the engine. Let's see what the second half has to show us. Okay, here's the Flowmaster mufflers that we just discussed. 2 1/8 going in. I'm going to call them 2" going out. They're a little tiny bit smaller than what appears to be on the front. Again, I'm not measuring them, but this is just a rough guess. When I say 2" on the way out. The swing arms, both of them are unobstructed with kinks and dents from people jacking them up on it through the years. Drum brakes in the rear, air shocks in the rear of this guy, so you can adjust the ride height of the vehicle in the rear just by adding or detracting some of the air in the system. Nice rounded rubber, you can see that all 4 tires are absolutely like new and they're red lines. The trunk area is original and completely rust free. There's absolutely nothing on it, absolutely nothing. Where the C-channel transitions back onto this box channel, it's just as nice as can be. No deterioration whatsoever. The last foot or so that has the C-channel back toward the end around the gas tank area is nice. Also, exhaust splitters on each side, just the way it should be. The original gas tank in it. It's still the original tank, didn't need replaced. 10-bolt, heavy-duty Pontiac rear end. These things really withstood a lot of pounding, a lot of abuse. So, never heard of anybody tearing up a Pontiac GTO rear end. Nice straight car. The panel in the back, the transitions across between the 2 C channels is just as nice. There's no pull marks or anything on it. Can't see anything detrimental here. Nice 4-link rear in the back, just the way Pontiac designed. You can see it's leak-free. You can also see there's no rust or deterioration whatsoever on the undercarriage of this vehicle. Absolutely none. Drop-downs in the quarters the same way as the rest of this vehicle underneath. Just as nice and sweet as can possibly be. I don't see anything. Just went underneath this whole vehicle, and my neck's getting sore from looking up in the air, but I don't see anything that's detrimental on it at all. It's a nice, solid, straight 1965 rust-free Pontiac GTO, and it's available here at Hanksters at a very nominal price. Take a look at it.